I grew up loving basketball. Still love basketball. Anytime I can watch a game, I love doing it. Anytime I can play a game, I'll enjoy it. Growing up in Utah, I loved the Utah Jazz. Now, as a 90s child, technically a late 80s baby, but as a 90s child, I really loved the Utah Jazz with John Stockton and Karl Malone. They were awesome, right? Well, anybody that knows about the Utah Jazz, even a fraction, probably knows that they went to the NBA Finals in 1997 and 1998. Technically 96, 97 series, 97, 98. I believe the two that they went to. And they met, well, unfortunately, the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. Now, the first finals series with him, I was disappointed. The Bulls were a better team, and it was sad to see the Chicago Bulls beat the Utah Jazz and win the NBA championship. It just was. The second time was heartbreaking, and here's why. The Jazz were the better team. They had been all year, and I was really excited. Now, if you've seen Michael Jordan clips, you've probably seen one particular one. Now, as the games kind of wore on, it got to a point in Utah in Game 6. This is the best of 7 series. So the first team to win 4 games wins. Chicago Bulls had won 3 games. It was the 6th game, and they were down a point. Michael Jordan had the ball at the top of the key, the top of the court, kind of the top of the three-point line. Right? He drives or dribbles the ball back and forth and moves quickly to one side and rises up and shoots. And when he shoots, he has this little follow through. The hand kind of elongates as the ball leaves his hand. Now, it's an iconic scene, an iconic footage, and hopefully I have a picture of it in there for you. It is kind of the lasting image of Michael Jordan, is this follow through. Years later, I was at a basketball camp with Antoine Carr. Antoine is nicknamed the Big Dog. He played for the Utah Jazz and was playing in that game when Michael Jordan shot. And he said, an interesting thing, people thought Michael Jordan was mocking them, kind of waving goodbye to them when he made that shot and had that follow through. But he says, if you go back and look at every one of Michael Jordan's shots, you will see that follow through at the end there. That follow through is important. It puts a spin on the ball that makes the possibility of that ball going in much higher, the likelihood much higher. And so Antoine Carr was pointing out to us as basketball camp attendees that if we followed through, the likelihood of us having success in shooting the basketball was much higher. Well, all of these years later, I now deal with organizations, mainly nonprofits, that struggle. Some are amazing, some struggle a lot. All of them are struggling to help people. The thing that I find most interesting, particularly around their feedback gathering processes, which is where I work, is it often isn't so much a problem of getting feedback or even coming up with ideas to fix problems from that feedback. The problem is often the follow-through. So, the lasting image I want to leave you here is when you're building feedback processes, when you're building a feedback loop, you need to gather feedback. You need to plan action. But remember Michael Jordan waving goodbye, right? The ball comes off, waves by, and follow through. Without the follow through, the likelihood of your success diminishes greatly. And you want to be the Michael Jordan of organizations. Unfortunately, probably not the 97, 98 Utah Jazz of organizations. Although they weren't bad. They really weren't that bad. But you want to be a champion. And we'll get you there. If you have questions about the feedback process, about how to gather feedback effectively, about how to think of ways to utilize feedback or analyze data, or about how to follow through, feel free to hit us up at pulseforgood.com.